is Lexi Moore from BrockVersusBear.com. Today, I'm interviewing Matt Watson. Matt Watson has wrestled Tiger and won. That's how he got the color of his hair.
I don't like to talk about that too much, though.
Today, Matt is going to be telling us about Brock versus the Bear. How do you feel about going into this fight? Or Brock going into
Brock
this fight?
in this fight, I think he's got a pretty good advantage since we've taken the claws off the Bear. It's only fair, I think, and muzzled the Bear. I think his main advantage here is basically his strength. You know, the Bear is strong, but I think Brock is still a little stronger, actually.
Now, my main question in this is, do you think that Brock is going to be distracted by the silky coat of the Bear for catching him?
I have heard Brock likes shiny things. He does like Coors Light with the top cans and stuff like that, so I think he may have a problem that way. I don't think it's going to be a major thing for him. I think he's going to be able to get past that, though.
Do you think that Brock should have to wear a muzzle to keep his ugly mouth shut?
I think, I think maybe after the fight they should use a muzzle on him, actually. I think that's probably the best for everybody. Also, I'd say that, you know, as far as the Bear goes, I think he's going to have a bit of a tough time, but I think if he gets him in a bear hug, Brock is really going to have to figure something out there. I think that's his main weapon there, I'd say.
How do you, Matt Watson, think it would go down if Brock got the Bear in a quintessential bear hug?
Well, I think he'd have to really squeeze hard. I don't think his arms can go around that big, actually. Because of his weight
his
increase.
His arms are really big.
He's got long arms, but I think
big
because
arms.
of the increase of his, he can go up to a higher weight class now, 285 and above. His arms are going to get physically larger, so he's going to have a hard time to get around the Bear. The Bear being very wide as well, too.
Brock a tree trunk?
I'm calling him a tree trunk, actually. That's what I'm doing. I have to say it, I'm sorry.
Okay, now, here's my other question.
Okay.
Do you think that it would be fair for Brock to prepare a year in advance and never, ever cut his nails, and then, on top of it, get those really creepy Latina gangster gel nails filed as his claws?
I think that would be actually, not the nail, I think maybe his teeth would be good that way, though. Maybe if he's allowed to, he should file his teeth down.
That crocodile guy on TV.
Exactly. If they do that, he's got an advantage. At least he can go after his hands. He can go after the bear paws. That would be allowed. I think if that's allowed, like I said, you know, I think if he's allowed to take steroids, continue taking steroids. If he's able to do that, then I think he's got an advantage, and I think he can take what it's like. I'm just a little concerned about how he's actually going to knock the Bear out. You know, the Bear's got a very large head. But both of them do, actually, but I think the Bear has a little bit of a larger head than Brock, and I think that's going to be tough. You know, he's not going to get the arm bars on the Bear, the neck, anything to do with the neck. It's going to be hard.
Do you think that it would be appropriate for the Bear to show his junk on TV, or do you think that the Bear would have to wear some sort of clothing?
I think we should at least give him the
George
St. Pierre underwear. I think is the best way for him. I think the George St. Pierre.
Do you think that the Bear's underwear should be sponsored by BC Wildlife?
No, I think probably just in light of what Brock did, I think we should probably put a Bud Light thing on the back of his underwear. Because you know, Brock screwed up so much in that one. I think they should put Bud on the back. The Bud Bear.
Yeah. Do you think that we should? Where do you think that we should get the Bear from?
Well, he's already defeated Fedor the Russian Bear, so I think probably maybe we should go after a polar bear. I think maybe that's a good, like the Great White Hope, the Great White Bear, the same kind of thing. Maybe from the Northwest Territories.
Do you think that we should then call the Bear Yellowneck? Or do you think we should?
Well, I think you should ask the Bear that, actually. That's a little bit of a personal question. I don't think you should ask the Bears.
Okay. Now, so because we're putting a muzzle on the Bear, do you think that the Bear should be able to talk in sign language to communicate his feelings?
I think that seems fair. You know, obviously the big advantage of Brock has at least he can speak English and taught speak, and he can get instructions.
Do you really consider that English, though? I mean, I'm not talking about. Is that really English?
To some degree, it's a form of language at least. You know, and I think the Bear, you know, obviously there is a slight strength advantage of the Bear. Not much, just a little bit.
So now, with the Bear's brain being significantly larger and more advanced than Brock's brain, do you think that the Bear has an unfair advantage?
Well, it's a tough one. I think they're pretty even in that regard. I think if Bears and Brock Lesnar's brain are pretty even. The communication levels may be about the same. Like I said, skill level, Lesnar's had a little bit more training in that particular style, but like I said, the strength, the brain and power, I don't think so much.